a great start to my live this evening on the ginger tea. It's very important. I do look like I've been dragged through a hedge backwards, but that's okay. It's a contrast to the thumbnail, I think you'll agree. So I'm on day 3 of my Show Up to Grow challenge, and today's blog post is Clear is Kind, or the longer version is I used to be kind, now I am clear. Okay. Quite enjoying these little lives, mostly because I don't tell anyone that I'm going to do them, and it just happens, and that is great for me. So I learned a few years ago on Instagram that kindness could be weaponized, and that was revolutionary for me. Did not for a second think that you could weaponize what I would see as like a nice personality trait. But I learned that you can, and worse still, I recognize my own actions. So I had a pretty quick slippery slope down into a shame spiral, and it was a pretty horrible moment, I think, when I realized that I've been weaponizing kindness. And if you've heard the phrase kill them with kindness, it's probably one of the phrases. So one of the ways that I would weaponize kindness was by pleasing people. So maybe I'm using the wrong terms, maybe you feel that you fall into this category too, but I would say basically yes to absolutely everything that was asked of me. People would say, oh Mel, you're so dependable, you're so reliable, you're really strong, you can help me with this. Of course, my ego loved it. So I would go, yes, of course I can help you. And then later on, I would go, hang on a second, I said yes to this and it's on that night, but I've also got this engagement and I need to do that. And how am I going to take my kid to school? I've got to fit in all my marking and my schoolwork, and I've got to, like, no, I shouldn't have said yes to that. And over time of saying yes to all various things, and some of the times it was the same people asking, but usually it was like a variety of people. It was me, and I kind of had a little ball of resentment that gradually became like more solid, until I kind of just became really cross, but I didn't realize I was cross with myself, because actually I was saying yes to things and really I wanted to say no. So that was quite a big moment for me when I realized that I needed to start saying no to things. But then as a people pleaser, so I'm like a reformed people pleaser, how do you say no? And then another way it showed up, which I think, yeah, I mean, I feel like I've done this year, so I'm still working on it, was if I felt people should help me with things, but I wasn't asking for the help, I would just expect people to understand I needed help with this right now so that I could stop doing this. But because I was doing chores, particularly smiling, how anybody else is supposed to know that I'm finding that difficult when outwardly I'm looking pleased about it, and outwardly I'm going, no, I'm fine. Yeah. My mind now just goes, well, of course nobody was going to know. But at the time, in my head, the story that I told myself was very much around, well, they don't know you very well, do they? They say they should know you really well, but actually they don't know you at all. So I'm just going to go and clean the bathroom really angrily. And, that's how it came out. So now, thankfully, I want to improve myself every day. So I see it as my responsibility to communicate my thoughts and feelings. it's not someone else's responsibility to know me that well, because actually my needs change day to day. So I did a lot of reading and research, and thank you to a brilliant teacher, Brown, who preaches that clear is kind and unclear is unkind. It sounds easy. It is not easy. Clear is hard. Clear is scary, because yes, I can be clear about what I want and my message, but that doesn't mean that it's what someone else wants or that it's going to be well received. If I say, I'm sorry, I can fit you in next week, but I'm not able to do that right now, that's me being clear. The other person might not be very happy about that. So a part of that is also being courageous enough to say no and be clear. Clear, though, I think takes responsibility. And so if someone else hasn't understood, then actually that's my responsibility. I have not been clear enough. Even if I think I have, I just haven't communicated in a way that someone has understood. So I now try and say what is okay and what's not okay. And so here are some examples of the kind of thing I might say. So I have a 17-year-old son, and if I'm meeting him, it's okay that you might be late because the bus is delayed. But it's not okay to leave me waiting without messaging me that you're going to be late. To our fabulous team of Roller Girl Gang roller skate coaches, it is okay to encourage folks with their roller skating at all levels, but it is not okay to tell them that they have nailed and mastered a skill if that isn't true, if they haven't got that skill. We can say that they're on the right pathway, but they've still got some work to do to get to that skill. It might be better than they were previously, or you can see a specific improvement with something. So it's definitely a feedback loop. And to our shop team, it's absolutely okay for them to share their experience of roller skating with a customer if they feel it's relevant, if it's solicited. It is not okay to railroad their favorite skate brand and say, you should definitely buy this because it works for me. I mean, these are all examples, don't necessarily all happen, because we, particularly in the shop, we know how we do and don't want to be treated. So that's where I am at right now. I'm in the shop. Clear is a work in progress, and with practice it gets easier. Roller skating is a work in progress, and with practice it gets easier. And I am feeling very grateful today for the 8 wheels that have really helped me to change my thinking. So what are you clear about today? Here's my question. And I will be back tomorrow to show up with something else. Thanks for joining.